don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Oh, well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this 497th episode of the Political Spotlight. I am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey, and we are glad to be here with you, here in the studio, coming to you live on a Tuesday evening, Tuesday, July 29th, 2025, at about 9:16 p.m. Sorry for the delay. The delay belongs to the gremlins in the machine. It's this time we are on gremlin time, not even Bilbrey time. Sometimes it just takes time and there's nothing we can do. And the more we push it, the longer it takes. So we are here. Welcome. Thank you for being here. And we've got a lot of content to talk to you guys about. Sorry we were not here last night. Last night's one of those things that kind of sucks because we've been kind of on a schedule hoping that we would be able to have our 500th episode correspond with this coming Thursday, because to me, the Thursday shows are always the best. It's kind of like we're gearing up for the weekend. It's the end of the week, and we've kind of got a lot of stuff to pull from the whole week to kind of talk about. And I Thursday episodes are always really fire. They're good for me. And we had it lined up for the 500th episode to air this Thursday. But last night I had a source that contacted me and I couldn't do anything about it. My option was to do the show and have to meet with the source sometime in the next couple weeks, or meet with the source when they could meet and miss the show. So unfortunately, last night we missed the show. Now we're off. That will push the 500th episode to Sunday. So it is what it is. It's just a show. It's just a number. None of that stuff matters. The most important thing is the content, what we bring to you, and having the very, very, very best in information that we can bring to you live. Joe says, Lighthouse, this data center runs 24/7 with only a man and a dog. The man's job is to feed the dog. The dog's job is to make sure the man does not touch the computer. Good. Hello there, William, the realist, Alva, Paula, and I don't know if you can hear me. The thing at the bottom's running. We're having some technical difficulties, so just bear with us. The sound is on point. That's all that matters. The video might be a little weird, but we will deal with it. Hopefully we'll be fine here in just a moment. But we do have a lot of content to bring to you, and in order for you to get this, all that we ask of you is that you hit the like button. It doesn't take but just a little bit of energy from you to run up there, smash that thumb. If you have not subscribed to the show, please consider doing so. It does not cost you anything. It's absolutely free. Smash that like button, subscribe to the show. If you want to communicate with us, if you're here live, you do that over on the right-hand side. If you're here via the future, in the future via the replay button, you will communicate down here below, and all else, everything else, just watch and share the show with everyone you know. That's all you've got to do. Here's the thing. We've got a lot of information for you tonight. And starting off, I was thinking about what I was going to start with, but I feel like starting off, we need to just get the most important information out of the way straight out of the gate. So we have some very, very serious and important breaking news for you all. And it relates to Louis Galligan, the international fugitive, Louis Galligan. Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news about the international sex crimes fugitive called Louis Galligan. Louis Galligan, ladies and gentlemen, will be back in America from the UK. He will be back in America, and he will be sitting his pretty little fugitive ass in a Randolph County jail cell on or before August 15th. August 15th, he will be sitting in a jail cell in Randolph County, Indiana, in the heart of Winchester, where he belongs, not eating crumpets and drinking high tea while in a cush prison in, I don't know if they said he was in Somerset, England, maybe Somerset, England. He will not be there. He will be here in the United States. I believe they said that he'll be in the United States by the 13th, and then the United States Marshals will take custody of him, and the United States Marshals will drop him off, and he will be in the Randolph County Jail, hopefully with Bubba. Here's the thing, though, with those that are charged with sex crimes in Randolph County. Jail tends to not be a bad place for them. Jail tends to not be a bad place for them in Randolph County. Because there are so many people in there. People that are in there that are not sexually deviant are the minority. The majority of the people in there are somehow related to sex crimes. Yeah, right. Chris, that's right. Right. Yeah, that's you're right, Chris. That's right. So, I don't know anything more. I do not know anything more. I'm waiting for some more information, but I do have that. That is good news. Now, as far as when the prosecution of Louis will start, I'm sure we will have a long hurry up and wait process for that, which we shouldn't have. They should have been preparing for the trial this entire time. They should have been preparing for the trial this entire time. And then it's like, as soon as he gets back, we ought to bang, we go and ready to rock and roll. Here we go. You know, he's he's done for, but I'm sure it won't be like that. So we'll stay connected. And when we have information, we will bring it to you. So that's that. Now, I do also want to tell you that if he was sent to Madison County, they would just release him. Yeah, that's a good possibility. As Kate said, hopefully he does not get bail. When he first left, and he was at that point known that he was in England. It was known. It was a known thing. They were applying for the warrant. I was told that if and when they caught him, if and when he was captured, and if and when he was brought back, that bail would not be an option for him. I am going to re-ask that question because I want to be 100% sure of that. I want to know that that is a factual statement still, because it wouldn't take much for me to believe that he could come back. He could sit there for like a day or two and then be given, they're like, well, we want to make it really crazy, so we're going to give him like a $100,000 bond, and then him bond out like an hour later. Like, I could see that happening. So I want to make sure that he definitely will not be able to take off. I fully believe that since he flew the coop once before, I feel like he will be a flight risk, and he probably will not be issued a bail, but we'll find out. I'll make some phone calls tomorrow, and hopefully we will know more. But that's all I know for right now. But that's big news. This is definitely important and big. So keep that in mind. I have it on the calendar. It's just in a few days, really. I mean, we're talking about just a handful of days, the 15th of August. So keep a lookout for that, and we will keep you guys posted and let you know what happens. So that's it for that. Okay, so from there, damn it, we've got the bear with me. Can you hear me? Okay, you can hear me, you just can't see the video. So I'll keep talking and we'll work through it. I apologize. Okay, there we go. Okay, so from there, ladies and gentlemen, we will move on to the big parts of the show. And that is, I've had a lot of people, yeah, right, Stumblefoot, maybe one of these days. I've had a lot of people from Blackford County that have been reaching out to me and asking me about the records, if I've heard anything, if I know anything. And I have not been able to give them any information. And that's because I do not have any records. So some of you might be like, what are you talking about? For those of you that are not familiar, there was a shooting that came at the end of a party from a couple months ago. We talked about it like the weekend it happened, and there was a lot of questions involved. I have issued a records request for a lot of information, and we have not heard anything. It's been radio silence. And so I sent another email and I said, hey, you guys you've not said anything. You've not even said, like, we've got this, we're looking through it. They've just done nothing. And so what we're doing is I will be issuing another email to them and letting them know that this is like the third and final email that I will be sending them. And the next time we have a communication, it will be in the void. It will be from hopefully the public access counselor, because I will be issuing a complaint to the public access counselor. So it's not for a lack of trying for those that are out there in Hartford City, for those that are there in Blackford County, for the people that are wondering, for the people that are concerned about those in the coroner's office and the victims and everybody. I am looking into this, and I am pushing this. So I will let you know. But as of right now, they're dragging their feet. So I will let you know. Before we move forward, yeah, I had a pretty good birthday, Megan. I talked about that a little bit I didn't do a show last night, but I did a pop-up thing earlier in the day. You can go back and watch it on the channel, but I didn't do a full episode last night. I did something like at 7:30. So, yeah, we covered all that last night, but it was a good birthday. So, which is worse, flight risk or running off the mouth with implications towards higher officials? You know, I'll be honest. I kind of feel like that's out the window. I feel like if he would have had something, because let's be really honest. It's not just, this is not like a case like Joshua. Louis has access to attorneys. He has access to good attorneys. And I feel like if Louis would have had information like that, or if Louis would have had something that he was going to say, wanted to say, or that they were going to be releasing, I feel as if, number one, he would have been back in the United States a lot sooner. And number two, he wouldn't be coming back to Randolph County, because the whole delay, see, he's been caught in England for over a year now. He's been sitting in a jail or prison over there, whichever way they do it, for over a year. And his whole thing, the entire year and a half, however long it's been, that Louis has been fighting a legal battle, it's been solely around not landing in Randolph County Jail. He's wanted to stay in England, or if he wanted to come back, if he was coming back, he wanted to go someplace other than Randolph County. And I just feel like if he would have had information that he could have released or could have given up in order to get favors, he would have said, yo, if you bring me back, I will talk and I have information, but I will only give that information if I can stay someplace else. So, well, but see, so right. But what you got to look at there, Kate, is you're saying if Louis has information on people, he would not want to come back here because it isn't safe. Correct. However, the info that we're all assuming that he could have, if he has that kind of information, he would be in a position to request being someplace else. And if he would have information like that, they would make that deal with him. The other people would, because now it's not just like Randolph County is dealing with him. There's Homeland Security's involved. The United States Marshals are involved. We've got federal level folks that are involved. And if he had that kind of information, I feel as if he would be coming back here and staying in Indianapolis, or coming back here and staying in another county, maybe even Delaware County or someplace else. I just don't believe that he would be coming back and staying in Randolph County Jail. So I kind of believe that we're not going to get any kind of big, like, long drawn out situation where he's pointing out this person and this person and this person. I just think it's going to be Louis comes back and he goes to court, and it is what it is. Now, I also think that he'll see more time. Man, I think he'll see more time than Josh. I do believe he'll get more time than Josh. I think that'll be interesting. Man, this video is really killing me. I am so sorry about this, folks, but it is what it is. Okay, so that's that. Next up, well, yeah. Oh, that's wrong. Okay, next up. Okay, so the Delaware County and Randolph County met last night. The counties came together as one, and it was amazing. The Delaware County, Muncie City, Delaware County League of Women's Voters put on an event last night, and this is so strange to me because everybody kept talking about how this event was going to be last Thursday, then it was going to be Friday, then it was going to be Monday, and it was like nobody truly knew when this event was going to be held. That was very strange. Everybody kept saying, "Did you go to the event last night?" And I was like, "No, I don't think it was last night. I think it's Monday." So they ended up holding a meeting last night, and in all fairness, I completely forgot that they were having it last night because of all of the chaos surrounding when the meeting actually was going to be held. I didn't know what was going on. And then so last night, about halfway through the meeting, I had someone message me and say, "Hey, are you at this meeting?" And I was like, "What meeting?" And they said, "Are you at the League of Women's Voters meeting?" And I was like, "No, crap. They were having it tonight." And I knew better than that. But it just goes to show you how off the wall, kind of disorganized. I guess they wanted to be. I don't know if they were. I can assume they were doing it purposefully. One would assume that they were doing it purposefully because they wouldn't want, people to show up. They would only want. Obviously, their people knew when the meeting would be. You know what I mean? Their people would know when the event was going to be held, but they didn't want anyone else to know when it was going to be held. So they hold this meeting last night, and I had a couple people who I wasn't able to be there, but I knew that other people would be there. And so although I wasn't there, I knew that I would be able to get information. And then they actually recorded the video, live streamed the video. So we do have some video of this. And I want to take a second and let you guys see what we're dealing with here. I'll let you hear a little bit about what they've got going on. Let me make sure we're up and going here. And I want you just to hear a little bit of this and kind of we'll jump around. This was an hour and 22 minutes, so we're not going to go through the whole thing. But I want you guys to hear this.
Welcome, everyone, to the financial benefits of renewable energy. I'm Linda Hansen. I'm the spokesperson for the League of Women Voters of Muncie, Delaware County. And I want to tell you a little bit about the League, since I know you're not all League members and you don't necessarily know. So the League's basic purpose is to make democracy work for all citizens, the form of democracy that we have. It bears repeating that to do that, we must work above partisan politics. So we are a nonpartisan organization. We neither support nor oppose candidates for office at any level of government.
So I think that's funny straight out of the gate. Straight out of the gate, they come out with the thing that they always say. We are a nonpartisan organization. We don't push any candidate or policy or idea, but except we all look identical. We it's like the Stepford Wives here. You know, every single one of us speaking looks identical, and we're going to put up here in front of you a panel of different voices. A panel of different voices. But all three of the panelists are of the same mindset. And Kate says, you know, they really seem like a Democratic progressive group, but it's interesting because they do have Republicans speaking. Now, I would agree with Kate that they do come off as Democratic progressive in political mindset, and they do have people that call themselves Republicans speaking, Weimer and Lincolnstoffer, but they are the new Republicans, which means they're the Republicans like that we see running Madison County. They're the Republicans that we see running Randolph County. They're the Republicans that we see running the state. So they are not conservative of mind and value. That's not about the Constitution. It's not about personal responsibility. It's not about personal rights and freedoms and doing what people who are constitutionally minded think. It's about this big government pushing over, railroading through you, this kind of idea that we're going to tell you what we want. We're going to do what we want. We don't care about hearing any pushback. We don't want any pushback. And now is not the time for politics. We don't want to hear about politics in our government meetings. We don't want to hear about politics in our civics meetings. We don't want to hear about politics in our community meetings. We don't want to hear about politics in our town halls. This is not politics, says the Politico, standing up, pushing the politicians who have the retired politicians speaking. It's all a bunch of bullcrap. And so, yeah, I think that's funny straight out of the gate. But no. This is not a Republican stance, Tweety Bird. None of these people are Republican, and none of these pushing this. And the stance that these people are coming from are from the whole hippy dippy, like green solar. We need the solar and to hug the sun. This is not a conservative, right-leaning stance. You have people who are in some positions Republicans who have switched and flipped the script, and now they're big government. But this is
the only green they care about in this green energy hippy dippy horse shit is the money.
Green money.
All of them are the ones that are getting their pockets lined.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. 100%.
All of them have a fiscal interest in this. So them speaking on behalf of it is crap.
Yep. Absolutely. That is 1,000%. 1,000%. So we'll let this roll here a little bit.
Since 1920, the League of Women Voters has been an active.
That's what they think. Tweety Bird, you must truly not be listening, because I know that you're on, like, I'm on your side in this, or you're on my side, or what, however you want to see that. But if you look at the people, if you watch the people at that meeting on Tuesday the 12th, if you look at the people that will be speaking on this matter, the people that are speaking against solar are all going to be Republican voters for the majority, and the people who are speaking for it are all going to be Democratic liberal voters. And I'm just talking about here in Delaware County and what's happened. And I don't, whatever the shakeup is. And if you look at all these people that are speaking for it, like all the Delaware County people, I'm not talking about the panelists, because the panelists, they've asked to be here. I'm talking about if you look at the pan of the room, it's all Muncie Resist people, Amy West and the Land Bank, her husband, those people, and all of that shakeout. I don't. It's strange, but let's listen to him here a bit.
This grassroots organization whose leaders believed that people should play a critical role in democracy. We encourage informed and active participation in government by members as well as other citizens. We work to increase understanding of major public issues, and we influence public policy through education and advocacy. Before the League takes an official position, members educate themselves and one another. To be adopted, a position must achieve a consensus of membership. So I'm going to read to you the position that our local league adopted on renewable energy. The full position is on our website, lwvmunciedelaware.org. The League of Women Voters in Muncie, Delaware County supports utility-scale solar as an important factor in responsible resource management.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I know it's hard to hear. I know it's difficult to hear. I didn't record this. They did. So I'm not going to speak here for a bit. I'm going to put this up. I've got it as loud as it can go. I know it's hard to hear. It's hard to hear the original recording. So I'm going to let you guys, I'm going to let this play for bits. I'm not going to speak so I don't blow your eardrums up, so you can jack the volume up. And what I will do is, before I speak, I will pause this. I'll put my hand up and I'll let you guys know. So here we go. This is what we're going to do. All right.
Management that reduces, with the ultimate goal of eliminating, our reliance on non-sustainable energy sources, products, and processes that damage the environment and endanger wildlife, biodiversity, and human health. We therefore call for an end to the County Commissioner's moratorium on solar development and urge the enactment of an ordinance that embraces the transition to clean energy by approving responsibly vetted proposals on a case-by-case basis. For those of us who have followed the rocky path of our solar ordinance implementation, moratorium, implementation, and reimposed moratorium, this program should be address how solar and wind energy solar and wind energy projects impact county finances, and how state policy supports communities that embrace renewables. So our speakers are Greg Beimer in the center. Greg is a former Indiana District 33 representative and Randolph County Commissioner. David Lenkenstorfer, on my far left, is a Randolph County Council President. And Joshua Bain is the Midwest Director for the Center for Energy Education, and he is an Indianapolis City County Councilman.
In full disclosure, I'm going to tell you that I live on a farm, and that I have 2 of the wind turbines on my farm.
So here's the deal with this League of Women's Voters situation. The first thing you notice is they say how they are not partisan. We're a nonpartisan. Then they get up and they push one side of this debate. They bring 3 panelists in, and all 3 of the panelists are one-sided, and they don't have anybody to speak from the other side of this. Why are they doing that? Why are we doing this? So it's very telling. I mean, we, of course, knew they were going to do this. This is how they do everything. For anybody that believes that the League of Women's Voters aren't a one-sided activist team that pushes one specific belief system, you're lying to yourself. You're nuts. That's crazy. Which is, look, it's fine. I just wish they wouldn't lie to people when they go out. Anybody that's been around politics, or anyone that's been around these people, anyone that's ever heard these people speak, knows the truth. What I don't like is how there are people out there that they fool. That they do fool new people that come into this. And so I don't like that. The craziest thing to me is how in the hell these people fool us into thinking that they're separate individuals. Why do they all look alike? How is it possible that every single one of these ladies look alike? They could all be like triplets or quadruplets. It's like, what is going on here? I do not understand. Tito from Union City was there, and now we're having a conversation on my Facebook page in regard to this meeting. Yeah, I know you've been messaging me. I've had kind of a busy day. I will look at that, and I know what you've asked, and I will do what I can to help you with that too. But so the thing is here, I hate this big push to compare Delaware County and Randolph County. And it's this big ordeal that they have been attempting to do for the last several, maybe 2 or 3 years now in this fight. And it's comparing like what Delaware County is losing out to because look what Randolph County's done. And really, if you talk to anybody in Winchester or Randolph County, there are a lot of people that are absolutely against what's happened in Winchester and Randolph County who are citizens of Winchester and Randolph County. There was a very outspoken amount of people from Winchester and Randolph County that did not want this to happen there, but they just bulldozed over it. Yeah, yes, I did, Tweety Bird. Thank you very much. I absolutely appreciate you sending that to me. And there are a couple of great communities in Indiana that have 1000% stepped up to the plate and stopped this. 1000%. So, I don't know what the hell that is, but that's amazing. I don't know if it's, I don't know what the deal. I don't know if it's Marshall or if it's, I know that there's a couple and I get confused between Marshall or Whitley County. I know there's a couple different counties. I'm going to have to look and see which one did what. But really, this comparison of counties, comparing like, oh, look what we're missing out on, look what J County's getting, or look what Randolph's done, and versus what we're doing, that needs to stop, and they need to really listen to the constituents inside each and every county and do as it is. This whole push. What's funny to me is during his entire speech, Greg Beimer, who, for those of you that don't know Greg Beimer was the Randolph County Economic Development Director at the same time that he was state representative for District 33. He was the position that J.D. Prescott now holds. And he gets up and he speaks his entire 10 or 15-minute speech saying, this isn't about money. I don't want you to think it's all about money. It's not all about money. But the entire time, the only thing that he says is money, money, money. Look at this money. Look at the money we're going to get. Look at the money we could get. Look at the money that you could get. This is about money. It's only about money. Now, it's not about money, but this is only about money, is literally the only thing that he says when he speaks. He says nothing. Then he says, I'm going to turn it over to the other two speakers, and they're going to give you a lot of the other great points about this that doesn't relate to money. And then David Lingenstoffer gets up and he says, now I just want to let you know what this can do for your community monetarily. I want you to know. And the big thing to me is they talk about this. And at one point I questioned, but you never get an answer because he stands up and he says, you know, you've got to look at what this is going to do to the economy and how this is going to create jobs in your community. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't come in here singing that song and dance. Because that is something that you say to a bunch of people that know nothing about this, that you are trying to bullshit, and they're going to think, oh man, Daddy could get a job there. My brother could get a job there. I could get a job here. We all know we've been fighting this for 5 years. This will not create jobs in our community. They're not going to come and have a big job fair and say, okay, well, we're going to build all these things. If you've got a hammer, come to the job fair and we're going to take our people from there. No, 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 no. They're going to bring in their construction crews. They're going to build these things in our front yards, our backyards, our side yards, the cornfields. Then they're going to leave and they're going to have one or two guys that does everything. This is not going to create jobs in Delaware County. See you, Alva. That's just, it's crazy that they say, oh yes, this is going to pour in money for the schools. And remember what happened back at Gaston. how long ago was that? Was that back in? Was that during COVID years in 2020? I don't know if Brandon's on here, but I know that Brandon and his wife attended a meeting in Gaston. And I believe I attended 2 meetings. And Westdale. Yeah. Westdale. Yeah, it was 2020. Yeah. It was 2020. And that turned out like they came out and they specifically lied. And then they tried like saying, "Oh, it was Baker Tilly that did that. Don't blame it on the industrial solar company. It was Baker Tilly." Now, look, I'll be honest. I don't know. Maybe Baker Tilly lied. Maybe Baker Tilly lied on behalf of the solar company. Maybe it was the solar company. I just don't believe. I don't believe that Baker Tilly would do that for the solar company. I think it straight was the solar company, and that Baker Tilly was using the numbers and using the BS that they were being fed by the industrial solar company. And I believe that's how that happened. And then there's been all this back and forth on the solar ordinance and, whether there's this kind of setback or, the setback is this far, or setback is that far, or like LaRue's been saying, like, what's the property guarantee, property rights guarantee, and, is this a mile down the road? Is it a half a mile down the road? And why are we hearing different things from the same person depending on what meetings that we're at? We really need to get this hammered down. And I'll be really honest, I don't believe, and I just am not, I guess I'll have to see it to believe it, but I don't believe we're going to answer the questions in an hour or a 2-hour meeting where we're trying to get through as many citizens to speak as possible. I don't think we're going to get the answers that we're looking for in that meeting. And, because they're trying to shoehorn the meeting down to a 60-minute meeting. That's crazy. That's absolutely right. LaRue, the Invenergy lied. Invenergy lied up and down in many different aspects. And I don't know if you remember or not, LaRue, but there was actually someone in the meeting that was able to get a copy, a picture of a text message that the attorney for Invenergy was sending either before or after she spoke. I can't remember which. We've covered this. It's in an episode long ago. But she actually, either before she spoke or after she spoke, was firing off a text message or an email on her phone, and somebody had the wherewithal to pull out their phone and capture what they could see with their own naked eye. There is no assumption or right to privacy in public where you're sitting, and what I can see or capture with my eye or my video camera, well, that's fair play. And this person did this. And what I'll send you, I've got the pictures. We talked about it on here long ago, that what she either was getting ready to say or what she had already said was like different than what she was sending back to whoever. And she was that attorney was so full of shit. And I, in my opinion, it was a very ethically questionable act that she was currently engaged in. It wasn't about doing right for her client at that point. It was like very ethically questionable what she was doing. It was crazy. So rather than to push through and try to play this, it's too crazy for me to play it. I will put the link to this in the description of this YouTube video. I will also, when we get off of here, I will post it on my social media accounts on Facebook and Twitter and all of that. So you can go through. If you guys have not listened to this video, I would highly recommend listening to it, specifically if you're someone that's going to speak out against solar, because what you're hearing here is what they're going to be saying on the 12th. And, it's a good way to be prepared for what's going to be coming our way. And so that's really big. But I am going to get these questions answered, and I wanted to make sure that I had asked the right thing, LaRue. That's why I kept asking you that, like, hey, what's that question? I think I messaged it to you. You must not have seen it, but I messaged you yesterday because I wanted to make sure what I was asking Brand was exactly what you had said. And so we are on the right path. So I'm going to get that. And I'm saying, let me look here at the calendar. So the meeting is scheduled for the 12th. So not counting today, when we wake up tomorrow, we'll have 13 days left until the meeting out at the Justice Center. Now, for those of you maybe that haven't been here, or this is your first night here in a while, here's the meeting. Here's the meeting information. Tuesday, August 12th, 2025 at 6 p.m. at the Justice Center located at 3100 South Tillotson Avenue. The doors will open at 5:15 p.m. Anybody wishing to speak needs to be at this building, I guess, between the hours of 5:15 and 6 p.m. Now, we are in the process of fighting for this and continuing to fight for this. And I will continue to fight for this and continue speaking out about this because I have an issue with that, and I will continue having an issue with this. So that's that. I also, really quickly, let me get these email addresses here. I know that we had these email addresses once before, but I want to put them up there. Anybody that wants to fire off an email address or call, I would highly recommend you doing that because the only way that they're going to know that we're serious and we're up against it because the only thing they're saying is, well, no one's going to show up. The last time we held one of these meetings, only 200 people showed up. So it's not like this is going to really matter because there's only going to be, we're only counting on 200 people to show up. And that's what they're saying. So, unfortunately, we keep proving them right is the problem. So that's kind of what goes on there, that there's nothing that we can do because we prove them right. And so what we need to do is we need to show up. Delaware. Commissioner Stephen Brand. We need to show up and show out and let them know, no, we're here and we want to be heard, and we will not take, we will not take this lying down. We do demand to be heard, and we do demand to be able to attend this meeting, and we do demand that you do this meeting in a way that makes sense for the community. We're not concerned about what's best for you guys. We are concerned with what's best for the community. So if you want to email the executive director of the Plan Commission, Kylene Swackhammer, her email is there. And if you want to email Stephen Brand, Delaware County Commissioner, his email is here. And if you want to Plan Commission, you want to call the Delaware County Plan Commission. The phone number is this. If you want to call, that's Plan Commission phone number 765-747-7740. And I'll keep these I'll keep them in the banners until the meeting. That way we don't doing that. Should it be Delaware County residents only? Man, you know what? No, I can't say that. I unfortunately I can't say that, because so say for and I'll give you the perfect example. Somebody that the people who speak out about this go to or lean on is a Denise Spooner. People who are fighting for this often lean on Denise Spooner, and she has a wealth of experience and expertise. And I don't believe that she should be stopped from speaking. So I believe that she should be permitted to speak, as well as there are oftentimes people from other counties that have fought against this, like commissioners or other people there that have fought against it, that will sometimes come and speak at events like this. And I don't think they should be stopped. As well as, I know that there's a doctor that might live in Marion County, but he works here, and I know that he is pro-solar. I don't think that he should be stopped from speaking. People say, well, if we do that, then that's not it, because then you get down to saying, well, if it's only Delaware County citizens, maybe it should only be the citizens who are in the area that it affects. And while that would cut out a lot of the pro-solar people, I think I'm an absolutist with that. I think you have to let people speak. Don't limit it. Plan Commission members, if you have an issue that you need to eat at a certain time, pack a lunch. I will not begrudge you to sit up there and eat. Don't Yeah, lawyers are the same. If we need to take a 5-minute recess a couple different times and let people run down and have potty breaks, have at it. Go down and let people take a piss here or there, whatever they got to do. Don't have a problem with it. One thing that I do like that Stephen Brand said is he said that one of the reasons they pushed this far enough out was because all hands needed to be on deck. They were telling them this is not going to be something that we're going to be okay with anybody missing out on. He said because often, and he's right, oftentimes when there's these big events, you'll see 2 or 3 people lay out because they don't want to be part of making a tough decision or this or that. So they were telling people, like, this is far enough out. Rearrange your schedule. All of the people that will be voting are expected to be here. Short of some kind of an emergency or something like that, if it's just a regular scheduling issue, figure it out because you're expected to be here. And I do appreciate that. But if we're going to have those people there, I'm of the opinion that it's okay if it takes 4 or 5 or 6 hours. That's big boy, stuff. This is a big boy and big girl conversation. It is a conversation that we've been having for 5+ years. It is a conversation that is going to affect people in Delaware County. No matter which way they vote, people are going to be affected by it, and they're going to be affected by it for multiple years into the future. So that's where I stand on it. Oh, Liquidy. Bo Baird said his dad was running for re-election. If Jim Baird wins, does he step down for Bo to take his place? Yes. My money is on that. Put my money on that. My money is on that, Stephen. Absolutely 1,000%. That's going to happen. If he runs and if he wins, that happens. I'm pretty convinced. Now, which one will be taking his place, Bo or Bean? And if it's Bo and Bo gets drunk, will Bean be driving? Or will Bean get a drink this time and let Bo drive? I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe they'll just say, screw it, and they'll let the dude from Bochek drive them both. During the zinc recycling protest, we used professional people from out. Yeah. That's right. I mean, you got different people from different, like, chemists and people who specialize in things. So, designated Baird. Yes, I'm telling you. It's a DB driver. I was trying to come up with a joke. You got Bochek and Baird walk into a room. What's it called? Well, it could be a bar, but it could be a cell block. But no, not here, because they are elected officials and they don't go to jail. Elected officials don't go to jail around here because they're doing God's work on a Friday at 3:30 with Panda Express all the way down the front of them. Okay, so that's it for the solar deal. Hopefully I will have an answer from Stephen here in the next day or two. And when I get that answer, we're going to do a whole look at the solar ordinance. We're going to go through it page by page. I've also been sent some things from Randolph County that we need to look at in conjunction with it. I've had some people from over there send me some information that we will be looking at. So that's a big deal. And then the last thing I want to say, first of all, Slick Witty's people from Indie Reporter posted made a very bizarre post on X here just not too long ago, and let me see this here. Let me go back down here and see this just briefly. You all remember when I was talking about the gentleman that it was a big deal, everybody was talking about it, the fact that let me find out where this is. Let me find out where this is. Come on now. Where is it at? What in the hell? It's not that far away, is it? Find it on Facebook. Indie Reporter. Where is your post about? Oh, yeah, right here. So 10 hours ago, Indie Reporter says, just sent second public record request for the cause of death of Roy Houchins. He was tied to the badge selling controversy of Michael Sherfick. Okay, so everybody remembers Michael Sherfick. Michael Sherfick was the dude that had the tickets to the Pacers game that Diego Morales, our Secretary of State, and our Lieutenant Governor, Micah Beckwith, attended and all that whole big deal. And then Sherfick had the issue with the sex crime and all that nonsense. And there was a gentleman who like kept hiring him and kept him around, and that was a big deal. Well, that just happened to be the one and only Roy Houchins. And now all of a sudden, he was found dead. Listen to this. This is pretty crazy stuff. Embattled Perry Township Constable found dead. Perry Township Constable Roy Hutchins found dead. The constable was found unresponsive in the parking lot of LJ's Pub and Eatery in the 3600 block of South Meridian Street Saturday morning. And that's interesting. Oh, so he wasn't just found dead. He wasn't just found dead. This was from quite some time ago. But what's strange about it is apparently Indie Reporter is not being able to get the cause of death, which is public record. Like, that's not something they should be hiding. Like, that's something that anybody can get that. That's not something that's like a secret. So I'm definitely... Constable found dead sounds like a story from the 19th. It almost is. It almost is from the 19th century, Brad. When I looked at it and I'm like, oh God, this didn't just happen. It was from basically the 19th century. What's interesting about it, though, is that Indie Reporters not being able to get the cause. That's something that should be easy for them to look through in their system and fire back. It certainly should not require a second public records request. Man, now I guess I'm going to have to find out and fire off a request, and we'll really get them going on. If we've got like several people, it's been over 2 weeks. He says it's been over 2 weeks. Uh-oh. Well, guess I'll have to, how long has it been since the first request? 2 weeks. Let's see here. Certified mail. Yeah, that's definitely strange. We'll find out what goes on there. I'll have to fire off a. They're like, what the hell? Now we're getting various people firing off records requests. This is ridiculous. This death happened almost in the 19th century. Funny story. Weird deal. I'm still waiting on information. I have a gentleman on that story who has some other records that I am waiting on, and I need to get hooked up with him and get those records, because that's kind of a big deal. Okay. The last thing that I want to talk about here before we wrap up, and I think we might have Catherine on at some point to talk about this a little bit, is they ran a newspaper article over. It's so weird because the Star Press is still up and running, and in my opinion, and maybe it's just because it's like a hometown pride or whatever, I think of, even as ridiculous as the Star Press is, I still hold them in a little bit higher esteem than, like, say, the Herald Bulletin from Madison County. But maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should stop, because at least the Herald Bulletin, man, I don't know. Is it better to have a newspaper that does nothing, but at least you have it and it's there? Or is it better to have a newspaper that almost does nothing, but they print stories daily, but the stories are essentially more than 50% not accurate? Which one is it better? I think it might be better to have the newspaper that doesn't do anything. To have a newspaper that prints stories that are at least 50% inaccurate, I think it does more harm than good. Anyway, over in Madison County, they had the fair. Neither. Yeah, that's probably true. That ding, 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 ding. That's the actual answer. So over in Madison County, they had this newspaper article written by the only person that writes over there, William de la Batiste, or whatever his name is. I'm like, that's not your real name, dude. You just picked that. That's your pen name. You know that's not your real name. I'm gonna be like Kristopher de la Bilbrey. That's what I'm gonna start saying my name is. There's no way that guy's real name is William de la Batiste. He is full of shit. Anyways, nobody over in Madison County can even say that. He wrote this article talking about something as simple as the Madison County Fair. Ken, not William. You're right, it's Ken. Oh, well, whatever. I was looking at William Wise. So Ken de la Batiste writes this article, and in the article, he's talking about the Madison County Fair. And in the newspaper, he's talking about how, like, the fair's, been here and it's over with, and they had this and this and this happening, and it was a wonderful fair, yada, yada, yada. But then he goes on and he talks about how there was all this drama at the fair over politics. And he's talking about how, like, there were the Republicans, and then there was this other Republican group called the Care Republicans, and then there was Catherine's group, and he was just going on and talking about how, like, at the fair, that's not the place for politics. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? Like, they specifically have the Democrat tent and the Republican tent. Like, they, in Delaware County, we have, the fair has Democrat night and Republican night. And they come out, and the whole point is for these two groups to latch on to citizens and talk to them and give them their stump speeches. And that's the whole point. But it's this idea that, oh, you can't debate politics at the fair. And we don't want you to debate politics at the commissioners' meetings. And we don't want to hear about politics at the city council meetings. And we don't want to be reading about politics on social media. It's just this idea of, like, what are you talking about? It's not you don't want to hear about politics. It's that you don't want to be questioned on your questionable actions. The people in charge don't want to answer questions. They hold these meetings that are outside of the regular monthly meetings, and they say, well, we're gonna let the citizens come up here and get answers to these big questions they have. Then they put on the meeting, and they're like, well, we didn't bring any chairs, and the elected officials, they don't know what's going on, and they're not going to be answering questions, and we don't want you to record it. We don't want you to take pictures, and we don't want there to be video cameras. That's it, William. They don't want to be held accountable for their actions. And so to anybody that says, like, oh, the fair is not the place for politics, listen, we all have a responsibility to stand up and do the right thing. We all have a responsibility, if we're seeing something that does not look right, to do the right thing. And if you're doing that and someone is trying to stop you or tell you this is not the right place, those people are the people that are wrong. Those people are the people that are, they don't have to stand there and listen to you. Rock and roll on by. But if they are an elected official, I would say, no, you do have the responsibility. And if you're not going to listen to me here, and if this place out in public, if we're in a public area, if you're telling me this is not the right place to approach you about this and to redress my government, then I will come to your place of work. I will come to the county building, and I will speak during the meeting, and I will speak to you. And there, when you try to do something stupid and shut me down or walk away, then we've got a bigger problem. Viewpoint discrimination comes into play, and we have issues on our hands. But we have to get these people back into a place of understanding that, yeah, it's okay for us to call them out. It's okay for us to question them. Nothing says they can't push back. They can argue back and fight back if they so choose. They don't have to just stand there and listen. I'm pretty sure they do, Tweety Bird. I'm pretty sure that the state fair has a place where you can go, and they have information both from the state parties. I do believe they do. I think that they absolutely do. It's not the state legislatures. It's like the party. It's like the actual parties. I do believe they do. And I do believe that they have places to help you register to vote if you're so inclined, or you need to check your registration and all that. I do believe they have that. I'm pretty sure they do. But moreover, even if they don't, the fact that these little county fairs have that, it's got nothing to do with state level. If state level doesn't want to do it, that's fine. But I mean, that's been a big part of like the local county fairs, at least around here, for a very long time. And I remember back in the late 80s and early 90s when they would do the Democrat and Republican night at the same night on the very last night of the fair. And there were a couple of times, because my father owned Muncie Tent and Awning, and we would put up my father's company would put up all the different tents for the fair. And so we would be out there at the end of the fair to take the tents down that night. And if we didn't, the reason we had to be out there to take it down, because if we didn't, the carnies would, and the carnies would just steal the tents. So we would be out there, and as a little kid, like my dad would have to be out there at like midnight with like, this is back when, when he was young, I was young, 7, 8, whatever. And, they would be like fighting. There were several times. Yeah. Stumblefoot says fight night. There would be several times they had been out there drinking, and we're talking about old school back then. And, there would be it would be very close to fist fights, if not fist fights. And they would be arguing and yelling, kind of cussing back and forth. And, there's just, I miss so much of that, because that is real. That to me, that was like real politics. The people of today's political world know nothing about that time. And they couldn't, the people in office today could not hold a candle to any of those people. And it's just so insane to me what they deal with. Coming up the rest of this week, we are going to be looking at what's going on next week with the Muncie City Council meeting. There's a questionable thing going on with the fire department and raising funds, raising the EMS runs costs. There's a big argument boiling there. We got things going on there. Obviously, we've got a big push. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more tomorrow. But I did finally get back the response from Laura Martin and the emails on Missy Williams on the private property thing. Listen to this. So for all of you that don't recall, reference the property deal, private property deal in Winchester over this private property that the city of Winchester is looking to steal. They're literally looking to steal from these property owners, and it's going to be a complete cluster if they did. Well, back on, let's go all the way back to June 30th. On June 30th, I issued a records request to Laura Martin. And I said, "Good morning, Auditor Martin." And I sent this to Laura Martin and to Missy Williams. I said, "I am sending this request for records to you on Sunday, June 28th, so that you will have it when you arrive at your office on Monday, June 30th, or on Saturday, June, whatever. Whatever. And what I was requesting was copies of emails sent and received by Commissioner Missy Williams on her official email account and her private email account that I know that she does, and back and forth with these people, yada, yada, yada." Well, she told me that it was going to take 30 days to get these record requests back. So yesterday, she sent back to me the following: "Please find the response to your public record request." And this is it. "Mr. Bilbrey, there are no emails from Missy Williams' email account, specifically M. Williams at Randolph concerning any private property or alleys in the city of Winchester concerning the period you requested. If you're also requesting private correspondence from Missy Williams' email account, specifically missywilliams2529@gmail.com, I am not the keeper of those records, and you would need to request those directly from her. I asked Missy Williams if she had sent any emails, and she informed me that she does not keep sent emails. She also informed me that she did send an email to Mayor Bob McCoy asking that the pursuing opening of the alley be dropped by the city because of financial constraints, but did not keep a copy of it. I sent back to Miss Laura Martin the following. It would be in the best interest of Randolph County and you as auditor to advise anyone sending out emails that they only use county-provided emails. If or when they are sending emails that could even loosely be considered governmental business. And or if they choose to use their private emails, they should be treated no differently than any other governmental emails. For example, Missy's email to Mayor Bob McCoy, that is something that she should not have deleted. And doing so puts her and the county in a bad spot. Furthermore, when it comes to any emails sent or received of a governmental nature from the council or commissioners, you, as the auditor, are responsible for collecting those emails if requested via records request. Just an FYI. I then also sent a copy of the email that Missy sent Bob that I have back to them, and I said, FYI, she mentions nothing about financial constraints in this email. And I sent it back to them. Now, I have got nothing back from Missy. However, I did receive a response back from Lauren Martin, who said, thank you for the heads up. So I think she was being a little catty just as much as I was. But I just think it's interesting. I mean, these people care very little about what the rule is, what the law is, rather. And it's funny that they're just willing to do whatever they so choose. Missy knows better than deleting emails. You cannot do that. That is a problem. And I've thought about contacting the public access counselor and pushing this a little bit and seeing if I can't get her to call. I still have not had luck getting hold of the public access counselor. We are in a world of hurt where it comes to the public access counselor. Used to, we had a tool on our side to pull out in Luke Britt. Not anymore. The new public access counselor absolutely sucks. So just FYI. And I thought that was interesting. So we'll be talking about the upcoming meetings, the Muncie Council meeting, the Winchester Council meeting, and then, of course, the upcoming commissioners meetings. I do have some information about the Grant County commissioners, but I'm still kind of holding it out for a moment because I'm looking for some information. And obviously, that's going to be a story that doesn't end because Chuck Polling is a loose cannon. He's a nut, and I look for things to continue happening there. I will continue fighting Blackford County for the emails concerning the murder there and that party and what they were doing and or not doing about it, and we will go from there. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us this evening. You have a wonderful rest of your night, and we will see you back here tomorrow. We will be here live. I think that Catherine might join us. I don't know. It just depends on what the information I get from an attorney. We're waiting to see from the attorney from Henry County, and I'm kind of at his schedule. So if he tells me at last moment that he's going to be coming on, we'll have him. But I'm pushing to have him on this week, so I'll keep you guys posted. But we will see you back here tomorrow at the same time, and hopefully we'll have the gremlins worked out. You guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and we will see you there. Good night. God bless. Goodbye.